towards the point, have you recently checked out what Gary Neville and Carragher had the banter about? Not even, it wasn't
Yeah.
banter, it
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
proper heated argument,
Yeah, it
I
was
felt,
good. Yeah.
right? So, I would actually like to know, Rajesh, your thoughts. Do you agree with what he says?
No,
So I
there,
just want
there.
to create a context, okay? That Gary Neville, if you guys don't know, is a really big United legend who has who has this.
You don't need to laugh. You cannot
No,
even
no.
count his number of titles.
I know. I'm not going. I can count actually. I can count his number of titles.
Okay.
I don't know how much he's responsible for it, but it's okay. His
What
opinions
do
are
you
still
mean?
shit. See, all
Carragher
I
का
care
क्या
about
contribution था भाई?
all I care about is his opinion currently, and what he thinks, and what he's always been thinking is that everything that happens in United is because of Glazers, okay? And I don't say that I don't completely agree with his points. It's not like that the structure of a club doesn't matter. It does matter, obviously, but how much can you blame a structure of a club, and at what point, what is the boundary where you start actually questioning the coach and the team for what is happening on the ground?
Okay.
What is the boundary there?
Okay, I will answer that, but you also have to take into account that Gary Neville is a United boy, and sometimes he also has a little bit of context as to what actually goes in the club. So as
Okay.
per his claim, the environment inside the club is very toxic. And
Okay.
why it is toxic is because ever since the takeover news has started, employees, general employees, not players and tenor, the general employees, the CEO, the Mato, who is the recruitment, who is tasked with recruitment and is tasked with working with Ten Hag, right? They all fear if we are going to be there tomorrow, if the takeover goes through. There are a lot of news floating around. So the basis of Neville claiming that the environment is toxic is that the takeover news has dragged on, and why it has dragged on is because of Glazers doing. Who is dragging it on? Glazers. Glazers are at the center of everything. So just imagine Newcastle. I just wanted to go back a little bit, touch upon Newcastle a little bit. याद है जब माइक एशली था, वो एक साल सेल नहीं किया था, फैंस इन द स्टेडियम वेर बूइंग हिम, इतना प्रेशर क्रिएट कर दिया. तो ये पता है राफा बेनिटेस को लेके आया था, माइक एशली को लगा भाई बड़ा मैनेजर लेके आए हैं तो कुछ इंप्रेशन बनाऊंगा और शायद रिजल्ट्स अच्छे होंगे, एंड आई माइट एज वेल be able to keep the club. Such was the pressure created by Newcastle fans that he sold immediately.
Actually, when he fired Benitez, right, that created even more negative press for him.
Again,
that was like a last straw for them.
Again,
but
you're proving my point.
But there's a difference.
Exactly, but there's a difference.
There's a huge difference. In case of Newcastle, they were not a financial mammoth, a behemoth like United. It wasn't a cash cow per se.
Exactly.
Right? For him, it was a great exit. He was getting great money, and he was like, इससे ज़्यादा पैसा नहीं मिलने वाला मुझे. Right?
That is true. But ठीक है, मतलब देखो, वो कैश का हो कि जो भी हो, यहाँ पे जितना पैसा इन्वेस्टेड है, everything is directly proportional. यहाँ पे उसने इतने पैसे से खरीदा. He also thought Newcastle will become bigger if they stay in the Premier League. Now what happened was that no manager could come in and actually rescue the club. They got relegated. Rafa Benitez was still there in the championship. उनको लेकर आया और फिर relegation fight में चला गया वापस. ठीक है? Newcastle are too big to be fighting relegation. You all agree on that?
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, at least historically,
yes.
They're too big
to be
not
on the stadium size and the fan base and all. Yeah,
the fan base and everything. Yeah.
So you agree on that? So forget about United as a behemoth. I'm just trying to compare two scenarios. Ki one set of fans were able to push them out, which is a smaller fan base than United. I don't want to criticize United fan base.
I understand where you're coming from, but there's another thing. Mike Ashley was looking for an exit himself.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah.
The owner was looking for an exit himself.
Owner was looking for exit, but he wanted whoever to buy. He had a price tag कि मेरे को 450 चाहिए ही.
But it is Newcastle United, it is not valued at what United is valued at.
If you're not looking for an exit, why would you put your club on sale? Like, if you're not looking for an exit, why would you put your club on sale? Like, Glazers said that we are putting the club on sale.
No, actually,
then why are they not selling?
Are you sure?
Hold on. Let me complete my thought. You are getting all facts wrong. So Glazers categorically said, we are seeking strategic investments into the club. They did not put the club for sale. So ये एक बना बनाया हवा है, ठीक है, इंटरनेट का, कि हम तो किसी को बेचना है. ये लोग अच्छा खेले हैं मार्केट में, स्ट्रेटेजिक इन्वेस्टमेंट सीख कर रहे हो, मतलब दे वर ऑलवेज गोइंग टू प्ले अ रोल इनसाइड द क्लब. ठीक है, मेजॉरिटी शेयर्स भले ही चले जाएं. ठीक है, अब देखो जैसिम ज्यादा मतलब पूरा 100% लेना चाहता था, तो वो उनके इनिशियल स्टेटमेंट को डिफाई करता. तो अंदर ही अंदर हम जितना भी खुश हो जाए, जैसिम जैसिम जैसिम, बिकॉज अरबिक न्यूज वहां से बहुत ज्यादा आ रहा था, अरबिक नहीं, फ्रॉम द मिडिल ईस्ट. ठीक है, बट हम सबको पता था कि एंड में एसजेआर ही आएगा. बट मैं अपना पीस बहुत पहले बना लिया था बाय लॉजिकली थिंकिंग कि आई वांट ग्लेजर्स आउट, आई वांट ग्लेजर्स नॉट टेकिंग मेकिंग डिसीजंस, आई वांट एसजेआर. वो भले ही मेजोरिटी में आए, एटलीस्ट वो बोलते हैं ना, कुछ तो भला हो, गेट द लीचेस आउट एटलीस्ट. क्योंकि अगर एसजेआर आएगा मेजोरिटी स्टेक में, एटलीस्ट स्पोर्टिंग डायरेक्टर विल डेफिनेटली कम, ये मैं लिख के दे सकता हूँ. एंड दिस क्लब का solution, first and foremost solution to get things back in order is to get a sporting director, because he will control quality of players that come in. मैनेजर के ऊपर से प्रेशर भी थोड़ा ऑफलोड होगा. एंड व्हाई आई ब्रिंग अप न्यूकासल इज, तुम लोग थोड़ा डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल में सोचो. वो 400 मिलियन है, 500 मिलियन में, हम 5 बिलियन में है, दैट्स नॉट द मैटर, फॉरगेट द वैल्यू. अगर वहां पे उनका ओनर 500 मांग रहा है, बिकॉज दैट्स वेयर वैल्यूड, सामने वाला इन्वेस्टर आके बोलेगा नो आई डोंट वैल्यू यू फॉर 500, वो बोलेगा मेरे को 300 में चाहिए. इवेंचुअली माइक एक्चुअली गेव अप ऑन हिज आस्किंग प्राइस. वो 300 मिलियन में बेचा भाई सऊदी को.
There's a difference, no? In United's case,
question I need to clarify.
In United's case, you were the cash cow. So he's like, हमें घास खिलाने के लिए कोई चाहिए इस काऊ को, तुम घास दो हमें, है ना? तुम घास दो, we will still be in charge for a certain percentage of it. They are not ready to let it go. So, and when it comes to Sheikh Jassim, I think he's a bot. ठीक है, मुझे तो लगता है बॉट है ये भाई आदमी.
नहीं, the Glazers hired the Rain group, like, so that this sale could be done, or were they looking for investment there also?
The official thing was still investment.
The official thing was investment, and Rain Group would have facilitated the entire process. कि भाई कोई strategic investor भी आ रहा है, तो वो investor आएगा तो उसको तो shares देने पड़ेंगे ना. वो shares कैसे divide होंगे, क्या होंगे, वो सारी difficulties ये financial institutions do take care of that.
See, one thing I'm saying that the comparison doesn't make sense also is that मैंने valuation पता है क्यों बोला? Because Newcastle, because it's valued at very less, even like it doesn't matter what his actual valuation value is, it is still in a reachable zone for a lot of buyers. Okay, a lot of buyers can buy it. 5 billion club cannot be bought by a lot of people, so you already still have just like one or two buyers for you, compared to Newcastle, which would have like 20 buyers for the particular club.
No, it there makes were not a lot of buyers for
I'm telling you that in principle Newcastle is a cheap club to buy, so you can have in principle more buyers compared to United, where it already has so much high valuation that you will still have one or two buyers. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter, because in the end Glazers did not want a strategic, they just wanted a strategic investment, right? And the whole Jassim thing was, I don't know how much true it was. What I want to...
It was true, man. It was true. AI bot and all is fine, because
I wanted to come back to this particular thing. The ownership aside, like, do you guys really think that this is such a big impact that you can just let go of what is happening on the ground, on the field?
I'm not letting go of anything, man. I'm just hooked on to one and only fact. You might hear, just like Gary Neville says it multiple times, and now it has become so cliched that Jamie Carragher just cannot resist it. Like you can't here, right?
Yeah, even
everything. Even like a scout mentality again. So
you know why I can't? By the way, sorry to interrupt you, but you know why I can't? Because every year Gary Neville goes like this. Okay, at the start of the season, Gary Neville would go like that. United had a wonderful transfer window, and now, like, this is his actual words, that with the kind of midfield that we have, Klopp would probably want to swap his midfield to our midfield. That is his words. Okay, that's so confident he is about that particular team. But as soon as you start losing, Neville is like, okay, owner is to blame and everything, so it just doesn't fit, and it has become a comedy because of like that. because Neville is just not sticking to one thing. And see, every fan is a little bit like that, you're a little bit biased. But Neville has a lot of public eye on him, and he has to be a little bit reasonable, is what I'm saying.
No,
But
I wanted to mention two things as well. You only considered one part of his statement. There are actually two parts to it. One, he mentions about the ownership, which he does in every United conversations. Agreed?
Okay.
The second part was about injuries. Injuries do not help the manager. So
I know, yeah.
you can call Erik ten Hag stubborn, right? You can call Erik ten Hag not a good man manager because he's not able to get the commitment out of the players. I talked about commitment, right? Who is responsible for that commitment and attitude?
Exactly. Yeah.
So he should be responsible. Now
Exactly,
you tell me, if you have 10 players out injured, 10 very good proper first team players, right? How will you be able to get the routines that you've been training for since preseason? Now, sometimes people
Sorry,
forget.
you have 10 players from playing 11 out.
Overall 10.
Playing 11. How many out of playing 11?
Entire backline. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Licha Martinez, Malacia, and Luke Shaw, Casemiro. Okay, how many are there? 6. Kobe Menu was, if not start, he would be on the bench. Now bench quality is gone. Mount is recovering from injury. He is making the bench. He is coming off in the second. So ये मेरे गिनने में ही 8 हो गए और 2 भी होंगे.
Anthony, I have a question that somewhere down the line थोड़ा blame तो manager पे भी जाएगा कि
मैं मना नहीं कर रहा हूँ भाई. There is criticism of him as well. I'm coming to that.
Coming to that. Players को manage भी वैसे करो ना यार. तुम्हारे पास squad है.
Okay, let him complete the Gary Neville point. Let's just say.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm coming to that part. I back the manager all you want, but don't all managers have their own faults? And one fault Erik ten Hag has is that he's adamant on certain things. He's adamant that if he signed a player, like most managers are, he has to prove that that player is his player and he will try to play him. He just cannot see that there is a player, Pellistri, who will give you, his running power and more output than Anthony if he starts. There are certain elements that actually Anthony does well. He actually tracks back and covers spaces very well tactically. You cut off the passing angles and all that. You have to realize that Anthony does that well. But Pellistri may not be as effective going back, but he is more effective than Anthony going forward. You can say that Erik ten Hag seeks balance and all that, but भाई हम as fans जो देखते हैं हमको clearly दिखता है यार Pellistri deserves a chance. That is one criticism. The second criticism is that, very important criticism is that, जब season start हुआ, जब हमने Anthony को 100 million से sign किया, many people said that अरे भाई, if Ten Hag actually wanted a center back, the money could have actually been spread out. Could have signed a center back for 30 million, could have signed a right winger for 60 million. And 60 million is not less money. It's actually good money. ठीक है, you could have spread out the money. Now मेरा question ये, तेरे को जॉन मोटो आके ये बोला नहीं था गांडू कि हमारे पास इतना पैसा है, उसमें से 100 मिलियन तू अगर स्पेंड करेगा तेरे लिए मैं आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू बाय यू अ सेंटर बैक. ये बोला नहीं था क्या? ये क्रिटिसिज्म है. एंड ये देखो, मैं भाई ऑल ऑनेस्टली बोल रहा हूँ, मैं अंधा सपोर्टर किसी चीज का नहीं हूँ. आई फॉलो द टीम, आई फॉलो अ सेट ऑफ पीपल. अगर देखो भाई, इट टुक मी just a few minutes to let go of CR7 in from my head. I've been a big fan. I am not a supporter of CR7 of what he did to the entity, the football club. He should not have done that. He disrespected the club, so out. In my head. So that's what I'm saying. Erik ten Hag कोई दूध का धुला नहीं है, उसका भी problems हैं. But the least you expect in a derby game is commitment from the players, no matter the injuries.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You can call him a bad man manager for not getting that drilled into players' heads. कि बेंचो commitment is non-negotiable. ठीक है? So that's about it, about him.
Yeah, what do you think, Manish? Do you have something to say on this?
I try to make sense as much as possible, but Manish
I do. I mean, as he's already started it, I wanted to understand how much do you guys think injuries are playing part into this, and he's already started that point. So you can cover that if you have want to say something on that as well.
It's really a chaos there. It's a combination of everything. Like it's a combination of the ownership situation, which brings a lot of tension to everybody around the club. There are also injuries, but injuries are part of any team, and you cannot have that an excuse. Okay, but the thing is, like the players' mentality that we talked about previously, that is down to the manager also, like who has to come out in the public and tell that, because you cannot be like fair to one, and you cannot treat everybody in other light. Because you said things about Sancho, you have to now tell about Bruno, you have to tell about Anthony, anyone it may be.
Walk the talk करना पड़ता है.
Yeah, in that perspective, I am a very big fan of Louis van Gaal, because he would say to anyone in the team, okay, you're not playing, you go home. I'll bring in a player from the youth team. That's how Paddy McNair got a chance. That's how Marcus Rashford got a chance.
भाई,
Marcus Rashford was going to school.
Angel Di
He
Maria.
was brought in. Yes,
भाई,
and
Di Maria.
anyone. He said, okay, you're not playing, you're not doing the things, you go and sit. I'll play anyone. Rashford was going to school. He bought him from school. Chal bhai khel.
हाँ,
We don't have a
literally.
striker. You play.
Literally, he
हाँ.
is right. He is right.
Against Arsenal, there were like talks of like this is the weakest United team that Arsenal could face in a decade, and
पेल
then
दिया.
this Rashford comes out of nowhere and he scores.
2 goals.
Like
एक
हाँ,
only 2.
yeah, that's how
उसको school
Rashford
जाना
made a
था.
debut, and that's how Paddy
School जाना
McNair,
था.
that's how Paddy McNair made his debut and all that. In that aspect, I would respect that decision. So
Paddy McNair
he,
plays in League 3 now, by the way.
he might play there, but he was a very good player when he was playing. That's
Correct.
what I mean. So that,
Yeah.
now that if any player is not putting out the strength or putting out the commitment, drop him.
Yep.
You did it with Sancho, do
I
it
have
with
to
these guys
agree.
also, and then bring any
Yeah.
kid. Any kid, he'll put his life on the line and he'll play for United. So that's what I would want to see. But okay, I would trust Ten Hag. I'd like if any player can have an off day, managers can also have an off day. Okay, this was a defeat that we would like to forget.
We've
I
been
would like to
having
see the
many
next
off
two
days.
games. Yeah, I'm not worried about the Carabao Cup. जाने दो. But I'm really looking forward to the next Premier League game against Fulham away and the next Champions League game against Copenhagen, because these are important games. I need to see a performance there. I need to see the result. I need to see both result and performance there. If
You
anything is
sound like a
missing,
principal, man.
no. If there is something missing there, let it be result or let it be performance. Then there is something wrong. Eric Ten Hag के सर तक पानी आ जाएगा. Now यहाँ तक आ गया पानी, उसके बाद
नहीं,
that is the way.
I think
Because the money has been already spent. You have talked about the
correct.
money. So somebody has to come. And we are blaming that Glazers are not a good owners and there is no sporting director and all that who is going to ask like, अबे पैसे का क्या किया? इतना पैसा तो ले गया तू सुबह. अभी क्या किया? So there is no one to ask Eric Ten Hag that. It's just that
Accountability.
directly. Yeah, there is directly owners there. So now if the fire is too big, then the owners will come out and say, भाई क्या किया? You are in danger. You are not the danger anymore. You are in danger.
I just want to add
So
one
the
point
next two games are very crucial.
I just want to add last point that sometimes when you've spent that amount of money, so you enjoy having it your way, right? Because obviously because of your own decisions. So what happens with all that is he has created a death trap. डेथ ट्रैप होता है मतलब फाइनेंशियल बैकग्राउंड में, यहाँ पे डेथ ट्रैप क्रिएट कर लिया है फॉर द क्लब. खुद के लिए नहीं, वो आराम से मतलब सैक हो जाएगा, वो चला जाएगा. और द वर्ल्ड ऑलरेडी नोस दैट यूनाइटेड के स्ट्रक्चर में प्रॉब्लम है. पेप गार्डियोला तो सीधा ब्लेटेंटली बोल दिया प्री मैच में कि देखो भाई, उसको पूछा गया व्हाट डू यू थिंक कैन मेक यूनाइटेड सक्सेसफुल. Pep Guardiola replied that, look, at City we have very good structure. The CEO helps me. He said it like that in a
I know,
in a
I've seen
different
that,
way.
yeah.
You have seen that. तो वो क्या बोल रहा है ये पता है. So if Pep speaks, the world listens. If they don't already know, they have heard it. तो उससे क्या होता है ना, the world knows that United are a problem. If any manager gets sacked, you know in your heart that who is the problem, not Ten Hag. राइट. सो ये तो पहला सेट हो गया कॉन्टेक्स्ट. सेकंड थिंग इज दैट वी कैन नॉट अफोर्ड टू लूज हिम. हमने इतना पैसा इन्वेस्ट किया. वी जस्ट वो होता है ना, तुम अचानक से यू वांट टू करेक्ट ऑल द प्रॉब्लम्स इन द वर्ल्ड इन वन गो विथ वन मैनेजर. तो हमने क्या किया, सबको सैक वैक करके हमने बोला कि ये अपना फुटबॉल स्ट्रक्चर है, हम टेन हैग को जितना पैसा मांगेगा हम देंगे, हम बिकॉज वी बैक द मैनेजर, वो भूल गए कि एक कंट्रोलर भी चाहिए, एक फुटबॉल पर्सन भी चाहिए बीच में मीडिएट करने के लिए. दे फॉरगॉट अबाउट दैट. ही टेन हैग के अंडर आवर रिजर्व टीम इज देयर. टेन हैग के अंडर मुर्टो है, मतलब अंडर नहीं है, दे वर्क टुगेदर. बट स्काउटिंग डिपार्टमेंट ऑल्सो आंसर्स टू मुर्टो एंड टेन हैग. स्काउटिंग डिपार्टमेंट भी too much power has been rested with Ten Hag just to try to correct a lot of mistakes from the past. Now this correction has not been done correctly. समझ रहा है? The correction जो कर रहे हैं वो भी गलत करेक्ट किया है. So
प्रिंसिपल
that
खराब है तुम्हारा,
प्रिंसिपल
प्रिंसिपल
खराब
ही
है, तो
गलत है.
प्रिंसिपल ही गलत है. तो ये पता है, कोई एमबीए इंस्टीट्यूशन, नो वन हैज टू गो टू एन एमबीए इंस्टीट्यूशन टू नो how to do the basics right. Any one of you can go to Man United and literally fix things. Abhay, I'm telling you, that's how bad it is. And that's
This
why
is this
yeah.
just brings me back to that meme that goes, ये सब मिलके हमें पागल बना रहे हैं.